What up YouTube, this is One and I'll show you my deck build of Cyber Dragon Therion deck build. But I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, like, I don't have, like, an expensive card like to build that deck. Like, like even rematch or lightning storm, but it's just because I don't have enough money because I have to spend on bills I have to pay. But anyways, onto the deck build. First off, the monsters, which is 3 Cyber Dragons. But for 3 Cyber Dragons, I usually use those as a material, like Exceed material, Fusion material, whenever I want to use the Cyber Dragon. And the main point source I use is 3 Cyber Dragon cores. Cyber Dragon core is like it's a searcher, like when it's normal summon, like you could search for Cyber Dragon spells or trap from your deck to your hand. Also, when it's in the graveyard, like if you control no monster your opponent do, you could just banish it and special summon any Cyber Dragon monsters or Cyber Dragon himself. Next up is 3 Cyber Dragon hers. Whenever like a Cyber Dragon hers is sent to the graveyard, you add like a Cyber Dragon either to grave or a deck. When this is in the grave, you could just add this from your hand. It's whenever this one's sent to the graveyard, like it's whenever. That's what's a good thing. It doesn't have to be in the field, doesn't have to be, it could be like anywhere from the deck, or like be like attached to Exceed material. Next off, I run like 1 Naster. Some people says I should run 2, but 1 is enough because he's always come back. Like you could just revive him or just add him back to your hand. Because whenever he's summoned, it's like normal, special. He could like target like a machine type monster that's 21 attack or defense exactly, and special summon it from like special summon from the grave. When a special summon, you just lock into a machine type monster that can own it, like be special summon from the extra deck. Next monster card I run like 1 Cyber Dark Chimera. What he does is like like if you discard like you could like send 1 spell or trap like to the graveyard to search for search for like a power bond, and the power bond becomes like a miracle fusion. You could also like fusion from your hand, field, or graveyard. But whenever it's like you want to fusion something from the graveyard, it's banished. It's from this effect. It doesn't matter if he's on the field or if he's in the graveyard. Like the power bomb is treated as a miracle fusion. Next up, I ran like 2 Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier is like like if you discard like this, like send 1 light monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this, and then when he special summon, you can search for another copy of it. But the combo is like when you have these 2, like you discard hers and then you special summon him, and then like you just have to call like chain link 1 and 2. Make sure it's this one is chain 1 and this one's chain 2, so it will chain block on him. So like if you get ashed, like it will ash this one instead of this one. Yeah, that's what the combo is all about. Next, I run like 1 Kaiju. Kaiju is like like whenever like if you see a boss monster that's really hard to get rid of, like let's say DPE or Dragoon, you could just tribute it and then special summon it from your opponent's side of the field. You can also contact fusion with Cyber Dragon go for Chimera Tech. That's what's good about this one. Next card is two Therion Therion Kings. Since like I run like all machines, like you can select a machine type monster from your graveyard and then you special summon it and then equip it with the machine. I usually equip it with either this Cyber Dragon or whose. But if you equip it with Cyber Dragon, like there's like a floating effect, like like when it's equipped, you could still contact vision using this one for Chimera attack. That's what's good about it. And also for hers, like if you trigger this, hers effect triggers, you could search for Cyber Dragon. So yeah, well that's it. Oh man, I don't know why I mixed it up. But anyways, get that out of the way. And then finally for the monster is the hand trap, which is 3 ash blossoms, which is pretty stable. Like I use it for hand traps. Like whenever like whenever you go in second, ashes always come in handy. Next is the spells. The spell cards I run is, of course, 3 cyber emergency. 3 cyber emergencies, like it's always for searching for cyber dragons. But if you get ash, then like then you're screwed. But if they activate like solemn, for example, like you activate this, they activate like some card effect to negate and destroy. You could just discard like any card, like it could be any card, like discard it, and you just bring it back to your hand and reactivate it again. That's what's so cool about cyber emergency. Next one, I run like one cyber repair plant. Whenever a cyber dragon, any cyber dragons is in your graveyard, you activate this, and then you could add like any light machine. It could be like, it doesn't have to be cyber. It could be Galaxy Soldier or let's see, or a kaiju. Yeah, it doesn't have to be cyber dragon. It could be any light machines. Next, I run like 2 machine duplication. I was gonna run 3, but running 3 is too much because last time I play tested it, and it got me a brick really bad. What's so good about machine duplication? But any like baby cyber dragon like Core, hers, or Naster, you can activate this, and then since they're treated as cyber dragon, you can special summon like regular cyber dragons. That's what's so cool about machine duplication. Next, I run like cyber rep system. Cyber rep system is kind of like a monster reborn, but except like when you activate this, it's either you special summon a cyber dragon from your grave or your hand, and it's like cannot be destroyed by any card effect by this one, and it stays permanent. That's what's so good about it. But running 1 is like it's good enough, but running 2 is like it's way too much. Next I run Sabadog Revs, Sabadog Ram. Like it's a continuous spell card. What it does is like it helps me search for Sabadog Chimera. And then it gives me another additional normal summon. That means I just normal summon Sabadog Chimera. Yeah, so it will goes around like Maxi, but since Maxi is bad, you don't have to worry about it. And then next spell I run is Cybernetic Horizon. What it does is like it's like it's for cost. Like like if you have like any cyber dragons monster from your hand, like I usually go this, like for the combo. Like I just send this in the grave and send this in the grave, and then I just search for Naster, and then I send like Cyber Eternity Dragon to the grave, which is a fusion monster. It then like hers effect kicks in after it resolves, and add the Cyber Dragon to your hand. Yeah, so that's one of my combos for it. Next card, next spell card I run is Cyberlord Fusion. What it does is it recycles my Cyber Dragons like from my banish area. Like I could just recycle them, like use as a fusion material to bring out Chimera Tech on Rampage Dragon. But the problem is like only that fusion monster can attack. But thing is like the Rampage Dragon could attack 3 times, so you don't have to worry about this one. And then next spell card I run 2 power bonds. With this power bond, like I could fusion summon with for Rampage Dragon, and it doubles the attack, and then it could attack 3 times. And the Rampage Dragon attack 3 times, so like you could go for 2k. Okay, that's it for the cyber spell. Now it's for the Therion spells, which I play 3 Therion on this Colosseum, which is the field spell. Like when you activate the field spell, you could add a Therion monster from here, which is you can add a Therion King to your hand. And what's so good about the field spell? Let me tell you what's so good about the field spell. Whenever your monster is about to be destroyed by battle, like for example, like let me see, like this one, like when it's about to be destroyed by battle, you could send a Therion card from your deck to the graveyard to to save your monster. And another effect is like when it's destroyed, when the monster is destroyed by battle, and you have Therion King to your grave, you can add this back to your hand. Yeah, so that's what's good about it. About the field spell. And another spell card for Therion, which is only one, which is the Endless Engine. The Endless Engine. What it does is I could just activate it and send either a field spell or the Therion King to the grave. It's whatever you feel like it. Like if you have a field spell, you send a Therion King to your grave. And like when this card is in your grave, like you go. This one's only hard once per turn. Like when you activated it, then when it's in your graveyard, you can't use the graveyard effect yet. Like on your next turn, like when this card is in your grave, it's either you want to add this back to your hand, a field spell, or a Therion King to your hand. It's like I had to choose the field spell first, and then when you choose this one, like it goes back to the bottom of your deck. Yeah, so like so you could keep on recycling the field spells and Therion Kings. That's what's good about it. Next spell card I play is Terraforming. I hope you search for the field spell for the Therions. Yeah, it's this card's limited. That's what's searcher. The next card I run is 2 Twin Twisters. I was gonna replace these 2 cards as evenly match droplets or lightning storms, but those cards are expensive. But I'll get them later whenever I have enough money to spare to get them. And then lastly, I run 1 Call by the Grave to stop the hand traps. Oh yeah, these are the staple spell cards. Sorry, I just start choking. I have been making video for I don't know, a couple months, because I've been busy with my other job. Next is the trap card. I run 1 Cybernetic Overflow, which is really good, like, you know, when you set it, when your opponent, like, you know, like trying to pop this, like, you know, you could just chain it and activate this and banish your Cyber Dragon from your hand, field, or graveyard to pop his cards on the field. And this is non-targetable, which is really good. But when this card is popped, you could search for like a Cyber Dragon spells or trap card and add it to your hand. That's what's so good about it. And then lastly, I want 3 Imperance, which is yeah, a really good hand trap. Like, you know, just to, like, you know, to stop your opponent's monster effect. You could just, like, if you control no card, you could just activate it from your hand, or you could just set it, and then, like, you know, when your opponent, like, controls a monster, and then, like, you know, when your opponent activate the spell in this column, you could just activate this and target the monster, and then this side of the column is negated, which is pretty funny. But well, then I was gonna say that's it for the main deck. Now it's for the extra deck. I just forgot to take out the extra deck. For the extra deck, I run, like, let's see, let's start off with the links. I run 1 Amirage. I usually use that, like, you know, just to send, like, you know, a core or any Cyber Dragon to the grave too. Like, you know, I just want at least 1 Cyber Dragon in my grave so I could use Cyber Repair Plan. 1 Cyber Dragon Seeker, which is, like, you know, he's like a pump. Like, if you have a Cyber Dragon that's 21 or up attack, you, like, you know, you can pump one of them. Like, but it has to be in your battle phase, like. And also, if your opponent trying to attack, you could also pump it. That's what's so good about it. Like, you can activate in your opponent's turn. I run, like, 1 with Linkage Anima. With this Anima, is, like, you know, I had to, like, you know, when you special summon Kaiju, you could just special summon, like, where the extra monster zone is, and then when you exceed something for this, you could target Kaiju where it's pointing at, and then you take control and it has like a 33 beater. That's what the homage do. Next is Fusion, which I run 2 Rampage Dragon. Good for, like, you know, for a triple attack or like a double Foolish Burial on it. Next is double Maker Fleet. What it does is, you know, it gets rid of all the monster on the extra monster zone, like the links. You could just contact Fusion and bring out this. It doesn't, and Maker Fleet doesn't care if it's a machine or not. It could use as a fusion material to contact fuse monster from the extra monster zone. That's what's good about it. Next is 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Again, like, you know, contact fusion from your opponent's side of the field if you control a Cyber Dragon. Like, that's why I needed Kaiju, so, like, I could just Kaiju one of my opponent's boss monster and then, like, contact fuse into Chimera Tech Fortress. Yeah, just to get rid of the boss monster. Next is Cyber Twin Dragon. Usually I go for him, like, you know, for Cyber Lord Fusion. Like, if I have like 1 Cyber Dragon on the field and banish, I could just contact fuse and bring this one out. And I could also use Chimera Tech Overload Fusion on my battle phase. If I fail to O2K, I could just Overload Fusion, bring this one out, and then attack for game 2 times. Next is Cyber Eternity Dragon. I usually don't bring him out in the field. I usually send him in the grave from my extra deck. Like, when I use Cybernetic Horizon, like, send two different attitude, one for my card, one for my deck, to grave, and then search for cyber monster, and then send this in the grave. What's so good about it in the grave, like you could just banish it from the grave, and then for the rest of the turn, all the fusion monsters cannot be targeted and can't be destroyed by a card effect. Just for the rest of the turn. Next card is I run Invoke Macabre. Like I don't have a fusion material for Invoke Macabre, but you know I use it like if someone's stupid enough to get rid of my Nova. Like whenever it's a Nova sent to the graveyard, like if my Nova got like Solemn, like Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, or whatever, if it's summoned in the gate, or whenever he's sent to the graveyard, it doesn't say like on the field. Like it's anywhere when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you could just bring this one out. That's why I need Macabre. And then now onto the Exceed. I run like 2 Novas. Yeah, for Novas, like, you know, I just bring this one out. The reason I run 2 Novas, like just in case, like, you know, this one got Solemn. But when it's Solemn, the effect still kicks in. But what's good thing about Nova, you get to detach it, especially summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your grave. And also, like, once I'm done with the effect, I could just bring out Infinity Dragon. So yeah, that's what I run for Exceed. And then obviously, and then the next Exceed is I run Cyber Dragon Infinity for On Negate, which I have 2 On Negates, which is the Therion Kings and Cyber Infinity. So I have 2 On Negates. That means I have sort of control of the board. Oh man, sorry, I just hit my tripod, which I hated that. Okay, I just gotta move it right here. And then lastly, I'm going Castello Pledge, which requires a level 5 light monster, which is my Cyber Dragon Light. What's good about it is, like, you know, he's a bouncer, like, you know, like you can also activate on your opponent's turn, like, you know, if your monster like exceeds summon, you can just detach it, bounce it, or I can bounce some of my cards. I said my combo is, like, you know, I'll show what's my combo is. If I have Cyber Rav System, like, you know, I have no spell card, but I have like Cyber Dark Chimera. I could just detach, bounce it back to my hand, then Chimera's effect, I just send that one into grave to search for a power bond. Yeah, so yeah, like, you know, I could easily bring this one out, but I mostly bring out Nova, because Nova is always the priority. Well, I was gonna say that's it for my main and extra deck. Now onto the side deck I put in. I know this is a long video, like, you know, making the deck profile. Okay, for my side decks, I cited 2 Nibiru's. I barely run Nibiru's because, you know, I cited them like just in case I go against like, other rogue decks. So yeah. And then 2 Lancias, good for, like, you know, against in Tri-Brigades. Usually Tri-Brigades, they always banish. Whenever they try to banish cards, you could just distribute this from your hand to the graveyard to stop the banishing. Next is DD Crow. Just get rid of the Eldritch like immediately when it's sent to the graveyard. Don't want that to happen. And then 2 Dark Ruler No Mores to stop the boss monsters. Like, you know, they can't respond to these. And then 2 triple tactics. Yeah, I just cite them out, like, you know. Usually I'm gonna use it against Splites, like, you know, pretty soon Splites said were coming out soon. Because they always activate in your turn. Whenever they activate in your turn, you can just activate this, and then like you could draw 2. But just be careful though, because you will get ash on this one. Next, I run like 2-dimensional barriers. If I run into like abandoned, because I always call fusion because they're so vulnerable to fusion. And speaking of like Brandon, I use these 3 Rivalry of Warlord, which is a continuous trap card. Like you can only control like 1 type of monster, and any other types like it would be sent to the graveyard. So this was like it will give them a lock. So yeah, like that's it for the side deck, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comments down below. What's your suggestion? What should I add in my deck? Right now, like my main deck is like 43. I know it's too much because I had the field spread for my Therions. So yeah, like if you have any suggestions, just leave a comment down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you in the next video.